Continue our story with Jazz and Harley pretty much enjoying the mid-afternoon of their date. It's been about, I'd probably say 2 hours, so they doing good. Jazz is doing great, Harley's doing great. They are enjoying each other. But right now, they beating up some regime soldiers. Now they already did dinner, and they already did a movie. Now it's just time for some action, and not the other one yet. But yeah, Harley and Jazz are enjoying their time, just straight up beating up some of the regime soldiers. Regime soldiers in Gotham or wherever they're at. Let's actually say they're in Gotham because it does make the most sense. And so they're both just enjoying it, beating up soldiers, dancing around with each other, and then going ahead and beating up more soldiers. So both of them are just having a great time. I mean, who wouldn't love a date like this? However, unfortunately, their fun is cut short, or at least enhanced, with Shazam and Black Adam both show up, demanding that they stand down and come along quietly, as Superman would like to question them. To which Jazz is like, I was actually getting a little bit bored in the fighting part of this date, but you know what? I actually do like this part. Maybe we could actually get acquainted with each other, maybe take some selfies and stuff like that. Maybe we could also, you're about to blitz me. Okay, I see how this is about to go. And well, Black Adam, already in that position, does go ahead and blitz him. However, Jazz simply leaps over him and actually launches a sonic blast to the back of him. And well, simply states, Harley dear, if you could be such a kind gal and just deal with him a little bit. And to which Harley actually pops a Kryptonian pill and simply says, don't worry, babe, I got him from here. And this is where she actually knocks Black Adam back. And then Adam tries to blitz her, but Harley leaps over him, grabs him by the eyes, and obviously with Kryptonian strength, this does hurt. And she actually rides him into the air as an absolute savage that she would. Meanwhile, with Jazz actually turns to talk to Shazam, but gets gut punched by it. But again, he's like, oof, dang, man. A sucker punch? I mean, I've had a plenty of my time, but geez, I thought you would hit harder. Huh. Maybe Bruticus might be the strongest hit I've ever taken before, and geez, that was 5 guys put together. Oh, wait, I realized how that sounds. Whoops. And this is where Shazam and him actually do begin to clash a little bit. And it's like, I read your file. You don't belong with the regime. What's a kid like you doing with a dictator? I mean, come on now. You think the wisdom of Solomon or, the wisdom of Zeus and Solomon, because I heard your powers kind of combine a little bit or whatever. But with that being said, you don't belong with them. You're one of the most innocent and one of the most pure-hearted. You probably could be a different kind of lantern if you want. To which Shazam says he's hearing none of it. And so this is where Jazz does knock him out. And Harley comes crashing down on top of a unconscious Black Adam. To which Jazz is like, so, you have fun? To which this is where Harley's like, how about we head back to the insurgency and cuddle and maybe wrestle a little. To which Jazz is like, whew, that's a bet right there. And so he takes Harley's hand and they both go ahead and go back to the insurgency. Obviously for, a little bit of But anyway, with that being said, we're going to fast forward to the Hall of Justice where somebody else is, well, obviously he's not getting any for quite some time here. Because at the Hall of Justice, there's a big argument happening on the basic moral compass of the regime at this point, as Wonder Woman has kind of been openly disapproving of having villains join the regime. She allowed Sinestro because he actually helped. She allowed Bane because he was tactical with Batman. But Zod, your own worst enemy, whose only purpose is really just to conquer and remodel Earth, she thought they were better than this. She thought they were more than this. Especially you, Clark, still ignoring how she wants the regime ran, how the regime needs to be run. And this is where Superman states, you didn't say that when you killed Huntress, or when you killed those soldiers who understandably did take those women and, in another country and stuff like that. I think you guys kind of understand what I'm saying here. Just go ahead and read the comment for yourself. And this is what Zod says: "Silence, woman. You should not be speaking." And to which Wonder Woman simply drops her sword and her shield and simply states, "Come here and say that to my face if you want." And Zod goes ahead and lunges at her. And keep in mind, Diana's whooping him out. Like, what, I think it would be worse than Superman. Because again, with Superman, at least she wasn't trying to kill him. But here, Diana fights ferociously, and simply hits that man tied up with the lasso and then power slams him on his neck. And she simply states, "Any further protests?" To which Superman is like, "No, but we have to understand something. The regime is going to go in this direction whether we like it or not. Why not just embrace it?" And to which she thinks to herself and is like, perhaps we should. And outside of the Hall of Justice, we actually do see an interaction with Catwoman and Damian. With Catwoman and Damian both feeling like they may be in the wrong. They may have done things that, may have hurt Batman, but at the end of it, they still love him respectively. As one as a lover and one as a son. And this is where we also head to the Watchtower, where Shazam has pretty much recovered from his beating at this point, and he does talk to Flash with Jazz's words ringing in. His purity, his innocence. He doesn't belong with the regime. He's still a pure hero. Some of them haven't even killed. But this is where Flash and Shazam do have their conversation. And Shazam and Flash both do kind of think, what would they do in Superman's place? Would they have gone that far? Would they have just simply changed things as well? What would have actually happened? What could they have changed? And so this is where Flash simply states he doesn't know. But they both can't keep just sitting here and acting like they approve of everything. That they approve of his methods and stuff like that. And so this is where Flash also reminisces about something. Superman almost killed him because he saved Bruce, because he wanted to honor Alfred's memory. And Superman almost killed him for that. His friend, someone that's been close to him, and almost took his head off too. And this is where both he and Shazam do think to themselves, maybe they should defect. But meanwhile, back in the insurgency base, everyone is gathered. And this is where Batman simply states they're ready. To which Jazz like, alright, cool. Get to use your kryptonite gadget here and, we take out Superman. And we just take down the regime from there, right? Everyone's got their Kryptonian pills. Minus me, because I don't know how it's going to work on my biology. But hey, it is what it is. To which Batman simply states, yes, I understand that. But I have a specific assignment for you especially. You're going to meet with one of our secret operatives. And he's going to help you take out Zod. But Batman makes it clear. They're not going to kill him. They're going to simply incapacitate him and make sure he's not a threat ever again. To which Jazz simply states, Bruce, just let me do it. I got it. If I kill Zod, then that's just one less Kryptonian on the table. Besides, I don't have that kind of moral compass like you do. I can take it. I can take what I do or what I dish out. To which Batman is like, no, we're simply better than them. We don't kill. We're heroes, not villains. We don't become the killers, as the number of killers will just remain the same. And so Batman and Jazz go back and forth, with Jazz simply stating that, I understand what you're saying, but sometimes you have to be able to cross that line in order to do it. To which Batman is like, no, we don't cross that line. Crossing that line is something we can never get back from. And to which, as they're pretty much arguing, Harley simply is like, dang, he is so fine. It's a shame that he's arguing right now because I want to do some strange things to him again. Wait, what are they arguing about again? And this is where Superboy simply butts in and simply states, look, I understand your guys' grief, but right now we need to stay united. If we, falter any simple way in terms of plans, then what do we look like? a bunch of amateurs trying this again. I'm not getting put back in the Phantom Zone. To which Jazz like, yeah, I get that, Khan. But right now, Dodd does have to go. Matter of fact, let me show y'all something real quick. And this is where Jazz shifts into his Cybertronian state. Oh, what? Y'all thought he just couldn't do it? No. We ain't abiding by them rules, nah. So Jazz just gets the form as pretty much a camouflage state. To which, when everyone sees it, and keep in mind, Jazz is kind of like on one knee right now as to not hit his head on the top of something. Robin's like, dang, that is so cool. I totally want to go joyriding in it now. And Harley's just simply like, yeah, still gonna hit that afterwards. And then some. And then some again. And again. And again. Okay, wait, what am I doing here? And this is where Jazz simply tells Bruce about his life. You see, back on Cybertron, he was a part of the slave class. An entertainer. Nothing more than people's enjoyment. But when the war broke out, did he hold it against the Iron Council? No, he didn't. But did he kill to get where he was at? Yeah, he killed the enemy. You see, Batman, and Jazz makes it clear, I'm a lieutenant. First lieutenant of the Autobot Resistance. And he does do this as he plays like a hollow imagery of the war and detailing the stories, with even some of them actually admiring some of the designs. With one of them, or at least Blue Beetle, simply saying, dang, that giant one is cool. Which I was like, oh, that one, that's Omega Supreme. Pretty chill. And this is where Jazz simply states that he understands that he is not from their world, from their universe even, but he's been sent to protect it. Superman came from another world, willing to protect those that could have rejected him, could have hated him, could have haunted him, but they didn't. But I understand what he lost, and I also understand what you lost. You lost friends, family. He lost a wife and unborn child. I understand I may have roasted him a little bit, but that's just to get him off his game. Because a confident fighter is a dangerous fighter. And this is where he simply reminisces about how Batgirl, told him about how Huntress died and how Batwoman died. He explains it all. Even how Commissioner Gordon also died. And he simply states, are you really willing to let him take over this planet with another Kryptonian that could likely be more dangerous than him? Or are you going to just let me do what I do best? Not as a hero, but as a soldier, and as he shifts back into his human form, a friend. To which Batman ultimately sits down in his chair and simply states, go ahead, do it. But I want you to know, don't change one bit. I understand you're a soldier, but understand that you can also be a hero. Just make sure you know you're making the right decision. To which Jazz says, yeah, and I sure will know if I make the right decision. And so, this is where we leave off here with Jazz simply partnering up with Harley for his mission. As well, Harley is probably one of the few members of that team that is willing to kill. But that's going to leave it off here, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.